right, welcome to week 9 of the First and Big Ten show. Got your man Leland Lopez.
We are.
Robert Jones here for another week of First in the Big Ten, baby. Let's go. Lee Doggy Dog, how was your weekend, man?
Well, fantastic. I got to hear We Are Penn State quite a bit Saturday night.
Well,
Because
my coach won, so that's a good thing.
that's what happens when you marry a beautiful lady from Pennsylvania. You got to take it. But she had fun with it, and Sunday she had fun with it. She fell asleep before the game was over and let me know how she felt about that. But it is what it is. I almost got tickets to that game. I'm glad I did.
And why did you hear We Are Penn State all weekend long?
Oh, just because, no good reason.
Because Ohio State is garbage. That is the worst team I've ever seen in my life. All right. Everybody knows I'm Clemson through and through. Go Tigers! Yeet, yeet. So Clemson Tigers. They're located in
The United States.
America.
They are. This is
Yep.
true.
Yeah, man. It was a rough weekend for Ohio State, man.
You know, I've heard a lot of Ohio State fans are like, they're going to cover this week, 20, 24 points, whatever the spread
That's a
is.
lot of points, man.
I'm like, I think this has been building to this point. The writing's been on the wall for weeks. Since they played Oklahoma and then Rutgers, which, they dominated Rutgers, so what?
Everybody dominates Rutgers.
Yeah.
They're 0-5
They
in
went
15.
downhill, and it's slowly, the offense has just not been able to find itself since that Oklahoma game. I don't know why. I think a lot of it starts with the offensive line, but there's a lot of factors. And since that point, they've slowly struggled. They've struggled to throw the ball, protect their quarterback. And then going into Penn State at night in the whiteout for Ohio State's tough anyway. It's always a tough game.
105,000 people in all white out there.
But you go in there not playing your best, which they didn't, and they came out with a loss. I mean, you look at the statistics. The crazy thing is Ohio State had more yards, first downs, more plays, a better time of possession, and didn't have a turnover.
No turnovers.
They didn't have enough points. And what I came out of the game to me is they struggled to protect JT all game long, and I think they called the game, the coaches called the game to not lose the game.
Right.
They were really conservative.
Man, what I got from
That's
this
our
game, the receivers, that speed is deceptive because it was wet out there. It was kind of chilly. They wasn't getting separation. The offensive line, they was giving him a second and a half to drop back and throw the ball, and these guys weren't getting any separation. Play calling was by far the worst I've ever seen under Urban Meyer. Take this stat for example.
Close. They've had a couple
I think
of
this was
them.
worse than that Michigan State game last year because Michigan State was a better team than this Penn State team is
True.
this year.
But they were at home.
At least they tried to run the ball.
We've seen this happen like this before, where in tight games they get
Okay.
conservative because they don't want to
Curtis
make
Samuel
mistakes.
had one carry for 74 yards. After
That's
that,
scary.
they gave him one more carry. He got
We've seen
negative.
that before.
He got negative 3 yards. He didn't get the ball again.
This isn't the first time we've seen the offensive coordinators forget their star player or forget a player.
Man,
I know
it's
Curtis
crazy.
Samuel's got to be a receiver too, and
He
nobody
catches-
else is stepping up besides him. But to only give the guy, I don't have a problem with pounding the ball with Weber all night long. That's
Right.
fine. But you got to mix it up and at least make the teams defend Curtis Samuel. Put him on the field at the same time. Anything. Give him a different look. But all I seen for the start of the game was read option, Barrett Weber, then third down, go empty. That's all I seen.
But the thing is, though,
So-
Leland, it's like this. Weber had, 21 carries for 71 yards. Curtis Samuel had 2 carries, 71 yards.
Yeah.
So obviously he was getting more success than Weber was for whatever reason.
Well, you had that,
Go with that
one
formula.
play they did. They
broke it
ran
wide
something
open.
a little different.
They had both
All
of them
I'm
lined up, and
Yeah.
Weber was the lead.
That's what I'm
the
saying. I
lead
think if they
blocker.
would have did that, I think it would have helped out both players. I think
Right.
Weber would have found, because Weber was roaming into a stacked line, blitzing, and had nowhere
Right.
to go. There was nothing he could do. He tried to cut balls out the backfield. He did everything he could. They didn't put these guys in a position to win the game.
Not at all.
I mean, you can't protect your quarterback. I didn't see a lot of short routes. I didn't see a lot of drag routes. I didn't see anything get past the ball to Samuel out of the backfield. Anything creative to make that defense not just pin it to your back and get after the quarterback. And they just made him sit back there and try to find a guy that's open, and there wasn't nobody open.
And I get it, they were throwing short routes, but it was always to the running back. The plays
Running back
were,
and tight end seemed like they were the only ones that were within.
the plays were
20
designed
yards.
for the wide receivers to go deep, and there was always a check down to the running back. That's
Yeah.
why Samuel did have 8 catches, and so did Mike
Yeah.
Weber. So they both had 16, and
Weber,
JT Barrett's
They
28
both
catches.
did what they could do, but
Right.
there was nothing else Weber could do, and there was nothing else Samuel could do. He didn't get no carries.
he could have ran the ball.
I mean, I'm saying, if you don't get the ball, you can't do anything.
Right, it ain't his fault that he can do nothing, but the offensive line didn't help him out much.
No, they
I'll
didn't.
take
They didn't.
special teams was terrible.
Yeah, I think that was probably the worst play of the game was
Right.
rushing that guy out to kick his career long when you had 2 timeouts.
Just
Why
call
you rushing?
timeout.
Yeah.
Just call timeout.
And
Just
that
call
was
timeout.
the defining moment of the game. But to me, even when they're up 21-7, it didn't feel like they were outplaying Penn State. It felt like they were just skating by it. And you
Right.
could feel the team was just wanting to get out of that with a victory. They didn't want to try to make any calls to win the game. They're play calling the game not to lose, and they lost.
I hope the Buckeyes got more plays than what they showed. Man, this was
We've
embarrassing.
seen more
man.
plays.
This was
They just-
embarrassing.
What I'm starting to notice from this is even if you go back to the Oklahoma game, they were able to line up and they dominated the line of scrimmage. When
Right.
Weber and Samuel were getting the ball, they were getting 6-7 yards a pop. They were getting through that line before they weren't getting touched till they were a couple yards down the field.
Well,
I'm noticing when they
Samuel was
get
averaging 35 and a half carries, yards.
no, I'm
carries
so far
game.
as the play calling. When they run into some teams that hit them in the mouth and take that away, it's like they don't know how to react to it and they can't get creative and find different ways. It ain't coming easy up the middle, pounding the football.
Right.
They don't know what else to do, and I don't understand it. I know you're young, but you're in
Yeah,
October
too.
now. You can't use that excuse anymore.
You're paying 2 offensive coordinators to come up with 7 plays. Man.
Yeah,
That's
you got as
terrible.
much speed as anybody, and you're telling me you can't find different ways to get these guys the ball. Like Dontre Wilson, any of these receivers,
Well,
with
Dontre
speed,
Wilson
Terry
had
McLaurin.
2
Yeah.
catches. It's terrible, man. They're not even
You
trying
tell
to
me you
strip
can't find either ways. I think the play calling was my big skill. The offensive line blocked, but I don't think the coach put them in a position to win that game.
They're crazy
And hats
as
off to
that.
Penn State for coming back and making the plays they had to, because they got beaten yardage wise and a lot of other things, but they didn't go away.
Ohio State didn't turn the ball over.
No.
They didn't have a rusher go over 100 yards because Saquon Barkley only had 12 carries, 99 yards, so they pretty much neutralized him. The Buckeyes outrushed
I
Penn
honestly
State
think
by
they
100
could have went with
yards.
him a few more times because he wasn't making plays.
They
They
could-
Sorley gave him 60 yards rushing. They weren't getting in the passing game, but they were finding other ways to get yards, and that's kind of what Ohio State didn't do.
Penn State only completed 8 passes and beat the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man. So
Great win for Penn State.
hat
Great,
goes off to Penn State.
great win for that program and James Franklin. Their
Yeah.
first win over a ranked opponent. I mean, and as of right now,
That does a
With
lot for
their
their
schedule?
That does a lot for their. Oh, they don't play nobody the rest of the season.
it sets up.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
they got the tiebreaker
Purdue.
over Ohio State.
I think they got Purdue. I think Iowa, which is a toss-up game.
Yeah.
They got like Illinois, Michigan State, and like
I don't think they can.
somebody else.
They're capable of winning all their
Yeah.
games.
I think Illinois. So they.
It's a great win for that program. They needed it, and we were winning this season, wondering what the offense could do if this team could take the next step.
They
It
did.
looks like they have. They got some guys back healthy on defense. They look like a different team, and they didn't play their best either, but it was enough to beat Ohio State. So
8 completed passes, man.
it was enough.
Ohio State threw 43.
They didn't need 9. 8 was enough.
They probably really didn't need 7.
Probably not.
How do you beat the number 2 team in the country with 8 passes? Man?
They
That's
didn't.
terrible.
They're not the number 2 team in the country.
I don't
We've
want.
seen that.
A lot of stuff I was hearing too, people was putting it all on JT Barrett. It wasn't on JT Barrett. He's been
JT
struggling
did what he
this
had to do.
season. 17 carries, 43 pass attempts. Like they put a lot on him, but he didn't get a lot of help, man. So
It wasn't like a lack of plays. They had 43 passing attempts and 80 or 40 rushing attempts. I mean, JT just did what he did to buy time to make
Right.
something happen.
he wasn't even getting enough time to really
Yeah.
do much, man. So
So
there it is, man. Get Ohio State out of here, man.
Penn State deserves the glory. For
Sit
now.
by themselves. All right, man. That's enough about Ohio State. They done already disappointed me and let me down this week. Let's talk about the other Big Ten teams that played.
Well, we can talk about the state of Michigan. 2 different teams going in 2 different directions. Michigan State, 5th straight loss. Michigan, another blowout
7th
victory,
straight
pure
win.
domination. Number 2 team in the country now. But Michigan State's the biggest shock to me. That they fell apart this season for a lot of reasons.
Man, I would never guess they'd be 0-4 in the Big Ten.
No, they're not. I don't think they're going to make a bowl game this year. They're coming off a playoff appearance last year, and it's not like it was a one-year fluke for them last
Right.
year. Under D'Antonio, they've been consistently good every year. It's just
How do you go from winning the Big Ten
I don't
last
know.
year
It's one of the biggest falls
to
I've
not
ever
being
seen.
able to win a game in the conference next year?
It's one of the biggest drop-offs I've ever seen.
I can't remember nothing like it. Like they won the Big Ten. Now they can't win a Big Ten game. The only
They
team
don't
worse
have
than the
a
Big Ten
defense.
is Rutgers. Rutgers 0-5 in the Big Ten. They're the only team worse
And
than
they have
Michigan
a
State.
rebuilding, but Michigan State haven't run the ball all year, and this game they run 270 yards, they still lose. It's just like it ain't your year.
This is crazy.
It's not your year.
Let me see what Michigan State's. They've given up 136 points and only scored 84. They can't
Does that
score
sound like
and they
Michigan
can't
State
stop.
defense?
No,
Doesn't.
no.
And Michigan, on the other hand, has given up a
Crazy.
total of 25 points in conference play. 25.
At least Purdue scored 90 Big Ten points.
Purdue's actually, even losing Nebraska, I think they
Right.
played pretty valiantly against in that game. They got David Blau. I think he's going to be a good quarterback for whatever guy takes over that program. I've been impressed by Purdue. They got 3 wins this year. That's more than a lot of people out there have, and they've been competitive in a lot of games. So
Yeah.
Michigan State's the complete opposite. And Michigan, on the other hand, we talk about their defense. It's great, one of the best in the country, maybe the best in the country. But
They've only
their
given up
offense is
70
catching
points
up.
all year, man.
They got deep at running back. They got talent receiver, one of the best tight end in the country, in my opinion. And now
One
Will
of the best-
Spike's only getting more.
One of the best returners in the country,
Yeah,
too.
so Real Pepper's Mr. Everything. It's tough. It's going to be tough for any team. Right now, as it speaks, I don't know of any team that's going to beat them right now. A lot of teams got to get better.
Ohio State definitely can't do it unless they can
As of
sort
right
that
now, they're
offensive
nowhere
line.
near.
So,
They can't move the ball.
that's a good place right there to take a break. We'll go ahead and get to halftime. We're going to come back in the
Another
second
good win for
half.
Northwestern. Throw that in there. Pat Fitzgerald got that team back.
Yeah, in the second half, we're going to talk more about the Colts, the Indians.
We'll talk about the Indians World Series Tuesday night. People, tune in.
And
Go
we'll get
Tribe.
We'll get into some of these rankings and upcoming games. So go get you some popcorn or some nachos or
Buy some Boy Scout popcorn. It's good stuff.
it really is. So get your voice out popcorn and we'll be back.
Second down, Scott again. And Scott fumbles the football. All loose, and it's Musso who's got it. Musso with a spin. Musso with blockers, and he's got a touchdown.
63-yard fumble return for 6. We just saw the running back in Musso come out. 63-yard fumble return.
All right, baby. Welcome to the halftime show starring your boy. It's really him, 614 Robert Jones. Today on this halftime show, I'm going to talk to you guys about a little app that I enjoy. So, the app that I've been using this season is the BTN To Go app. You can get it on your app store. I'm not sure. It's probably the same thing if you got Apple. I got Android, so I got the regular Android app. You just type in BTN To Go. And what it is, it's the Big Ten app. That's all the sports in general. So you got soccer, field hockey, and all that other stuff. But what I use it for is on the weekends, when you're out, you can actually watch the games on there for free live, as long as you got Wi-Fi. So it's a good opportunity for those people who want to go or who don't have DVR on their TVs. Just download the BTN To Go app. Then actually the next day at midnight, it lets you replay all the games, so you don't have to worry about downloading them and saving them on your TV and being at home. If you got a tablet or your cell phone or something, which mostly everybody got anyway, so that way you can just sit there. Like if you're going out of town or on the road or you're out at your kids' event or something like that, you got to do something, you can just take the app with you and you can actually pull up all the games and replay them the next day. So that's pretty cool. Or if you want to watch them while you're watching another game, so just so you're watching like the Buckeye game or something, you want to watch the Illinois game at the same time, you don't have like 2 TVs or something. Yeah, but the app is really cool though, man. Like you can replay the games and everything. So if you get a chance, pick it up, get on your phone, go to your app store, download it. BTN To Go. So check that app out. Go Big Ten, support the Big Ten. So all you people who are not in the Midwest and you don't get on your regular TVs, go ahead and download the app. Check it out. BTN To Go, baby. Halftime show. I'm out.
Second halftime.
Second halftime.
Bring it home.
Second half. Let me turn this around. I gotta get up close and personal with my people. All right.
That crap off, man.
Gotta look good for my peeps out there in
Luckily,
internet
play in
world.
Miami. That's all I'm saying.
Miami who?
JJ, 2 200-yard games in a row, but I digress. Let's get back to college football.
Nobody even watches Miami.
Maybe that's true.
What we got going on here? We got some AP polls. What they looking
Hey,
like?
people, bring it to me.
Cream of the crop right now. Michigan, top of the Big Ten, number 2 in the country behind Alabama. So
Stuff.
Shout out to Michigan. Ohio State, we only dropped to 6, which is good. So if Ohio State, that's the only thing about this loss. It don't mean really much right now. It might bite them if all the other conferences can win out, but I doubt with Ohio State's schedule. They've already
Still
played.
kind of control your
They
destiny.
played Oklahoma, who was ranked. They played Wisconsin, Penn State, who is now ranked. They'll still got Nebraska. They still got Michigan. Then the Big Ten championship game. So they can possibly have 6 ranked teams out of their 12 games. If they lose one game and don't get in, I'll be surprised, man. You can't face 6 top 20. Who's that? Come out of here. If you got every other week you playing a ranked team, the committee's got to take that into consideration. So the Buckeyes kind of still do.
They're still in it, but as of right now, they don't look like a playoff team that can do it. They got to do a lot of things. They got to get better and work on.
We'll find out in a couple weeks when they play number 7 Nebraska.
We'll find out Nebraska this week when they play Wisconsin. They're still undefeated. Haven't been tested by a tough team. We'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, you got what? Nebraska at number 7. You got Wisconsin at number 11. But they dropped 1 spot.
Yeah, they ain't dropping it.
Yeah, so Wisconsin, they're number 11, which is still got 4 of the top 11 teams in this conference. And now you got Penn State rounding up the bottom of the top 25 at
As they
24.
should.
So,
5-2.
hey, all you Penn State fans, that's a good win. Even though you had 2 weeks to prepare for the Buckeyes, you
No matter.
took care of business, man.
In nasty
No
conditions,
excuses.
it don't matter. You
No
just win the
excuses,
football
man.
game, period. And it was raining cold. They pulled it out. They deserve a win. Great win for Penn State.
Penn State and Ohio State playing with the same field, same conditions, same everything. So it's not an excuse for Ohio State because Penn
Right.
State wouldn't have had that excuse if they would have lost.
They made the plays when they needed them. Ohio State didn't. And now,
They beat them.
right now, they're number 2 in the Big Ten East.
Okay, so let's look at the Big Ten rankings. We got what? Michigan the top of the East and Nebraska the top of the West. Do you think that's going to be the ultimate championship game? Because right now those are only 2 undefeated Big Ten teams.
On the West, I mean, Wisconsin might be the best team on the West, but they've lost 2 conference games. They're going to need some help. They can start out their road to the Big Ten championship this weekend by beating Nebraska in that big showdown. Then they're going to need a Ohio State or someone to knock Nebraska off, which is possible. Nebraska's had good Tommy Armstrong, bad Tommy Armstrong, but
He's
they
been
do
bad,
get
Tommy Armstrong,
they do
lately.
get Jordan Westerkamp back this week, their top receiver. So, but I could still see it going to Wisconsin. If they win this weekend, I can see it going to Wisconsin. But another team a lot of people are talking about is Northwestern. They have 1 conference loss.
Yeah.
They started out slow, looked horrible, no offense first couple games. And where they're at right now, 1 loss in the conference, the offense is just, it's not just going to Austin Carr. Clayton Thorson's passing the ball to everybody, and you got Justin Jackson being
Justin
the man.
Jackson's a beast, man.
If anybody who was questioning Pat Fitzgerald after the start, this just proves you that's the best coach for your program. He's a great coach. Nobody's going to get more out of Northwestern football than that man, and nobody cares more about that program than that guy. And what he's done with this team, a lot of teams would have fell off after that slow start, losing to Illinois State like they did. He's got that team back, and he's got them right, realistically right now, right in the Big Ten race with a chance, if they win some games,
Oh,
they
they
could
in
be
there.
in Indianapolis.
They in there.
They
They're
only
in the
got 1
race.
loss.
Yeah.
They control their own destiny because
Yeah.
they still got Wisconsin. They're also like Wisconsin. They need Nebraska. to lose
Northwestern
twice.
is in the same boat as Ohio State and Penn State with 1
Yeah.
loss. You win out, you got a shot to play for the title. So regardless
Wisconsin and
of-
Northwestern are in
yeah.
the same boat. They need Nebraska to lose. Wisconsin a little bit better spot away there, but it's kind of the same.
Not really, because
Loss.
Wisconsin 2-2, so they need
Yeah.
they need more help. Than
But they do
Northwestern
get to
does.
get one of them wins. But Northwestern still leads Northwestern.
We're gonna find out what Northwestern's made of. They got the Buckeyes this week, so if they really want to make a real run at the Big Ten title game,
Yeah, it starts this week.
they got the Buckeyes. So
We'll see what
we'll see you in Columbus this weekend. Who else we got? What else we got going over here? We got
In the West, it's interesting. Or in the East, it's interesting. Right now, Michigan
It's
controls
3 teams.
everything. And the funny thing is, if Ohio State was to beat Michigan, we'd have a 3-way tie.
Right.
If that happens, and then it would go to the top-ranked team. But like it would hurt Ohio State if Michigan was to lose to Iowa or somebody, and then they beat Michigan.
Because then the tiebreaker.
Then
would go-
Penn State would be
Yeah.
going to the benches. I didn't know. We didn't think Penn State. We kind of everyone thought it'd be Michigan State in this position, but Penn State, they're right in the thick of things. But as of right now, Michigan controls their own destiny. And same thing with Nebraska. We'll see how it works out. There's gonna be some big games.
For all you Buckeye fans out there, we don't want what happened to us last year. 'Cause remember when Michigan State blocked that kick and scored on Michigan? We was all excited that Michigan lost.
It
That was
hurt
actually the play that ended up hurt us from going to
Yeah.
the playoff game last year.
So-
Because if Michigan would have won, we would have had the tiebreaker versus them, which means we would have got in. So
There's a lot of different scenarios. You got 3 teams on both sides with still
Yeah.
chances to win this conference. It'll be fun to see down the stretch. It all
Yeah.
starts out with what we got going the next weekend.
This is deeper than I thought it would be. We at the beginning of the season, I know me personally, I thought it would be between Ohio State, Michigan State,
That's everybody did.
and maybe Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I didn't have Nebraska up there.
I picked Nebraska to win the conference before the season, but I didn't think Northwestern would be
Right.
competing here. We thought it was Iowa, and Iowa had a chance, but they lost a tough game, 17-9 to Wisconsin.
Well, I was not
They
too
would've been
far.
running
They're in
it.
the same. I was in the same boat as Wisconsin is. Iowa's sitting at 3-2 right now in the Big Ten with 2 losses.
They are, but a lot of their losses right now, they've already lost to Northwestern and Wisconsin, so
Right.
they're a couple games behind them. So they're not out of it, but as we've seen Iowa right now, I don't know if they can win it. They got to have Nebraska, but
Minnesota's sitting at 2-2 too, so we got a couple 2-loss teams over in the West. So
it's wide open.
yeah,
A lot of things can happen in the last month and a half.
Nebraska got a tough part of their schedule coming up, so if they don't make the right moves and win these games, they'll be sitting back at the bottom with Purdue and Illinois. So
See, it all starts this weekend, the big game, 7 versus 11.
Rutgers, you're horrible. You know it's a
They're
rebuilding.
rebuilding. They did bounce back and score some points this weekend and compete, which is good. They gave Minnesota all they can handle. That's a good sign for Rutgers that the team's still playing for their coach. which is
Rutgers has
important.
scored 46 Big Ten points. They're giving up 208. They got
They probably
They
scored
gotta-
all but 40 of them last weekend, so
Yeah.
it's going up. They're improving. They haven't quit.
yeah, they gotta flip that around. They need to score 208.
We
and
knew
give
it
up
was going to be a tough
46.
team for Rutgers, or a tough year for Rutgers. But
Yeah, Rutgers, we're just picking on you guys. It happens, man. But Michigan State, you have no excuse.
nah.
Not at all. You lied to a lot of your recruits. You said, hey, look at us. We just won the Big Ten. We beat Ohio State. We beat Michigan. What you still can do this year, might I add. No, they already lost to Michigan.
Oh, they got them this week.
Oh, that's right. They got Michigan this week, so we'll
Still
find
have
out.
their rivals, which is
They still have an opportunity to beat them, but they're like, hey, come to us. You can win the Big Ten championship playing at Michigan State. No, the hell you
That
can't
happens.
this year. So they're garbage. Besides that, Indiana 1-3, Maryland 2-2. But Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan, it's gonna be interesting to see how this season ends, man. So let's see what we got coming up this week, man. Let's make some picks right now. Let's make some picks, baby.
Last week we tied again.
Because he picks every team I pick, because he wants to be right.
I just want to keep the show going. If I dominate the picks, you won't want to do the show anymore. And that's the truth.
You dominate
Oh,
in the
I
picks,
wouldn't lie.
like Ohio
I'd
State
lie.
dominated the offensive line against Penn State. That's all I'm saying.
What?
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 You dominate in the picks, like Ohio State's offensive line dominated Penn
Oh,
State's
yeah,
defensive
yeah.
line. You know what I mean?
Hey, let's talk about Minnesota and Illinois. Let's talk about your Golden Gophers
2-2, baby. Sitting good, sitting pretty over there in the Big Ten West.
playing the Fighting Lovey Smiths in Champaign, might I add. I
I'm
still
only
like
drinking any
Minnesota.
champagne until after the game when my Minnesota Golden Gophers win. I'm gonna be down Minnesota.
I'll take Minnesota too, but I
Come
don't,
on,
I don't
man.
think it's going to be dominant.
Come on, man.
It was way too close last week against Rutgers. But they'll win, but it ain't going to be a blowout, I don't think.
It will be a blowout. They'll win by 3 or more. So put me down for Minnesota, baby. Hey, hey.
Michigan at Michigan State, a rivalry game. Last year was an exciting game. Is it going to be exciting this year?
Yeah, if you if your son is a backup anything at Michigan, he'll be getting playing time this week. So make sure that you show up to support your kid. Or if your son's even third string, get there after the second half. You might get the chance to see him
Denny's
play
Lansing.
That don't mean
I don't
anything.
think that'll mean anything.
Yeah.
Michigan's firing all cylinders on both sides of the ball.
Michigan State ain't.
They're going
so-
to dominate. And coming off a loss, that almost going to hurt Michigan State because they're going to come out and really want to put it to them. And knowing Jim Harbaugh, he's not going to show any mercy.
Yeah.
It's going to be ugly. How about the newly ranked 24th team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions versus the Boilermakers?
It's going to be a short-lived ranking because I guarantee you right now, the guys over there in Happy Valley are still living on cloud nine. They're excited. They're pumped. Their season is over with. They done what they came to do. They realistically still have a chance to go win the Big Ten, but I doubt that they do it. This is a trap game. Purdue is a great team that can put up some points. I think Penn State is going to be on cloud nine. They're going to overlook Purdue. We're the bad boys. We just beat the
Hashtag
Buckeyes,
Cloud
so
Nine.
I'm going with Purdue.
Whoa!
There it is, baby.
Hot take. I will say it's going to be a closer game than people think. I like what their offense is doing right now, but I'm still going with Penn State.
Go with them. I don't care. You're going to lose. So.
My
Maryland.
wife's from Pennsylvania. I know Penn State. They're gonna win.
Out of Loftus. Yeah.
Terrapins and the Hoosiers. That's gonna be a good game.
I don't know about that.
Maryland's coming off a win. I like their combination of the 2 running backs.
What time is that
Indiana
game?
needs a win.
What time is that game?
The 30 game. In Bloomington, I'm gonna go with Maryland. They're coming off a big win. I think it's gonna be a great game though. But I think they got Perry Hills back throwing the ball. They got a nice running game. I like what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna win that game.
Northwestern at Ohio State. Ohio State just lost.
Okay.
They're having trouble passing the ball.
Northwestern's on fire right now. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know what the point spread is. I don't care if it's 20 or what it is. They're not going to cover that. Ohio State needs this win bad. They're going to odd kickoff time at 5 o'clock. I got to feel Ohio State's going to bounce back because, I mean, they've only lost 5 games under Meyer. I can't see them losing 2 in a row. I don't know if they're going to come out and all their problems are going to be solved in this one game, but I think they will come out and do what they're going to do and win this football game. But I don't think it's going to be easy. But I think they got to get to Clay Thorson. If he's comfortable, they're in trouble because he's passing the ball to everybody.
The Buckeyes have been struggling, and even so on defense too. Like the teams have been coming in, they've been able to move the ball over Ohio
The middle
State.
of the field seemed like it's open. It was
This is
open
definitely
early
one
in the year.
team that can move the ball and they can put up points and can score.
Clayton
The way
Thorson's
the way the Buckeyes have been scoring lately, just scoring. I don't know if even coming back to home is really gonna make a difference. Man, they've been on the road for a while. They're mentally banged up now.
They didn't look good against Indiana, but
They didn't look again against Tulsa in the
I
first.
will
half.
say from the start of the season, there isn't another player in the Big Ten that's more improved than Clayton Thorson. I mean, what they
I'm
9
going
points,
Northwestern.
6 points against Illinois State. Wait, what?
Northwestern.
I mean, I'm not
Before
gonna say
the-
I can't see it's gonna happen.
Before the season started, I predicted this Buckeye team to either go 9-3 or 8-4.
I said 10-2, and that's.
They got, I mean,
it's gonna be tough, but
yeah. I mean, like the issues that we had with this team earlier, they're starting to show now.
they don't have an
They
easy
don't-
game.
yeah,
down
they-
the stretch.
Yeah, none of
Michigan
these
State,
games
but
gonna be easy.
we could say Michigan State's gonna be easy, but Michigan
No.
State's been a thorn to the side of Ohio State
Right.
since Urban Meyer's got there, so I'm never gonna count them out. I don't need to give them a game.
Especially when the thing about the Buckeyes is it doesn't matter. Michigan State doesn't care about Minnesota as much as they care about the Buckeyes. So even if they're 2-9, 2-8 when they play Ohio State, that game is going to
We're gonna
be
get Michigan
their
State's
game.
best shot.
Ohio State's going to get everybody's best shot because they're the Northern Alabama. They're the
Team everyone wants
they're
to
the
be
bar.
on top of.
Ohio State's the bar up north. It's just what it is, man. Like you want to beat Ohio State, you look forward to playing them. That day is circled on everybody's calendar. Penn State just showed you that. Like they're going to show up. They're going to be ready. So.
I'm not gonna say you're crazy for that pick because I think it's gonna be a tight game. I'm not gonna say out of their own possibility Northwestern could win that game. So I've really been
The
impressed with
Buckeyes,
Northwestern.
their offense is just they can't do anything. I don't
Got
know if
that
it's going
team
to prove in 6 days.
Playing great, and I think they think after last week they're definitely coming in and think they can beat Ohio State. So they're not
Everybody
gonna come in and team think they can't. And then we got the huge matchup: number 7 versus number 11, Nebraska, going into Camp Randall against the Badgers.
I'm gonna go with Wisconsin just because.
We know more about Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've seen more of them. They're more battle tested. Even though they lost to both Michigan and Ohio State.
And they lost to one of the best linebackers in Suchi, who was a big part of the game against Ohio State. But
They're a force to be reckoned with. I haven't really seen Nebraska be tested by anybody.
They
Armstrong,
haven't, yeah.
right now, he's not playing his best football. So
they haven't faced a defense like Wisconsin's either. I love it. I love watching them play defense. Nothing comes easy for offenses against this defense.
and they're gonna be on the road too. So I'm gonna go with Wisconsin. Honestly.
Yeah, it's hard to beat them in Camp Randall. We haven't seen enough from Nebraska to be saying they can win this game. I mean, with Western Camp coming back, I think that's going to help them. Newby's a great running back, but we just don't know what we're going to get out of Tommy Armstrong. Are we going to get the good Tommy or the bad Tommy?
He's
It's
been
more,
good. He's
it's
been
more
good
good
up
Tommy
there.
this year, but he has these spots where he throws that bad interception. I don't know 100% about their defense if they can shut this running game down with Corey Clement and the boys, but
Yeah. I know they're gonna be ready for Nebraska, but you gonna pick
you know what?
Nebraska.
I'm going
right?
Nebraska.
I figured. you
I
would.
picked them to win the conference at the beginning of the
I figured
year.
you would.
They're 7-0. I got to go with them. I think it's going to be a great game, though. A great showcase game for the Big Ten Conference.
You know this is crazy. What? You only pick one home team to win. You pick everybody else to go on the road and pull off the upsets on the road.
It's usually not a good combination.
That's not. Especially.
But the Big Ten, it's crazy.
It's crazy when you got Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan State, Illinois, Purdue, and Indiana. You only think one of them can win at home game.
Most of the favorites are on the road, though.
I know, that's crazy though.
Which
At this
shows
point
you
in the
that
season.
one of them could be upsets. One of them, home teams that's not supposed to win could win because that's an advantage. But that's just the way it worked out. I got to go with Nebraska. I picked them to win the conference. I think it's going to be a great game. I won't be surprised either way. I'm just really looking forward to that game because I want to find out who is Nebraska.
Who's Nebraska?
Who are they? If they win this game, you can't have these people saying Nebraska hadn't played anybody. Because especially if they go out and look real good against them, because they battled the two top teams in this conference and took them to the limit. I want to see what Nebraska. It's a big game for Tommy Armstrong's career. He's a career leader in all the passing categories. This is his game. This is his showcase game. What his legacy is going to be at Nebraska.
This is what I
This
like
is
about
his
the
game.
Big Ten this year is Wisconsin. They're going to face all the big boys. So
Yeah.
there won't be no doubt whether they deserve to go to these bowl games or where they end up.
It's just fun having all these big time
Yeah.
matchups. That you say last year we didn't have a lot of them because a lot of these teams weren't
Skipped
at the
each
top
other.
or they didn't
Yeah.
play each other. This year, all the big teams are playing each other, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a fun end to this season because anything can happen. We got both sides wide open right now.
All right, so that's about all the time we got for this week. Tune in next week to hear me tell about how I was right and how he was wrong.
That never happened.
Tell you about how good my Colts are. 3-4, baby. You know what I'm saying? We back on track.
Got sick for a moment there. But
Dolphins
we can't
suck.
talk about. No, well,
They do. They do.
Yeah, giant.
But everybody though, tune in tomorrow and support
Cleveland
the
Indians,
Cleveland
baby.
Indians. All right.
Corey Kluber on the hill. Let's bring it, baby.
Yeah, game 1 of the World Series starts tomorrow
Crazy.
night. So good luck to the
Can't wait.
Tribe, good luck to the Colts, good luck to the Buckeyes, good luck to the rest of the Big Ten, except for Michigan. Good luck to the
I don't
Colts
think they need our good
again.
luck right now.
They dominate
They're
everybody.
damn good.
So, all right, Robert Jones.
Leland 5150, go Tribe, just like Tom Hanks said on Saturday Night Live.
You just
The
watched.
man knows what he's
You
talking
just
about.
watched the greatest episode of First in the Big Ten. Tell your friends, tell your grandma, take it to her nursing home, drop it off the DVD to all her friends. They ain't gonna be doing them but playing bingo anyway, so let them watch our show. And do they tweet? Do grandmothers tweet nowadays?
Everybody tweets.
Tell your grandma to tweet me.
Betty White's tweeting it. She's tweeting all the ladies tweet.
I like to tweet Betty White. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
All right, that's a good place to end this show.
Yeah, they did get kind of weird. I gotta go. All
Golden
right,
Girls was one of the best shows ever, just saying. But I'm gonna roll on out of here.
we're out.
Victory, go Tribe.